Hey everybody, welcome back to the Real Estate Machine Show. I'm your host, Chris Matan. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is Friday, October 30th, the day before Halloween. And I hope everybody has a nice Halloween. So Monday was Marriage Machine Monday, and today is all things real estate. Fridays are going to be all things real estate. I kind of changed the show format up a little bit to kind of add some specific value between my two businesses. And today's the day we're going to be talking about real estate. I'm going to actually start off with something sort of unrelated to real estate, but it's a story that kind of I thought about this morning that happened about 26 years ago, 25 years ago, believe it or not. That's, I've been in this business 26 years. And, when I first started, I had the fortune to be involved in a condo conversion. It was a 31-unit condo conversion in Skokie, Illinois. And one of the first things that you do with a condo conversion is you meet the tenants and you find out who's able to buy and willing to buy their unit. So I'm not going to discuss the details of that. That could be for another show. But, I just remember this one meeting with one tenant that, I brought with me my broker manager at the time. I was 21 years old. I didn't know shit from anything. So I needed to bring somebody with me that can kind of talk the talk a little bit better. I can learn. And, he can bring us a little bit of credibility, which he did. And so we're talking to this little old lady. I'll never forget. Her name was Belle Rugendorf. She was on the second floor. I think her unit number was 208. And she was a little old lady, about 4 foot tall, walked with a cane and a hunchback, the whole thing. She was a firecracker. But, and she ended up buying too, believe it or not. But, so we're talking to Mrs. Rugendorf, right? And we learned that her husband back in the day was somehow involved with taxi cabs and had a taxi cab company, whatever the case is. So the guy that I brought with me starts talking about these taxi cab medallions. I don't know anything about taxi cabs or medallions or what any of this stuff is. So I'm just kind of like sitting there quietly listening. But they're telling me about these taxi cab medallions and what they're worth and how you can buy them and sell them and, all this kind of stuff. And the whole business is revolved around these taxi cab medallions. So, I learned that these taxi cab medallions now are not worth nearly what they used to be worth. So I did a little research this morning, and just to kind of give you some perspective, in New York City in 1965, you can get a taxi cab medallion for $25,000, right? In 2012, that medallion could be worth $1 million in New York City. So the idea was that these taxi cab medallions are appreciating. They're an appreciating asset that can actually be borrowed against. And, people would buy and sell these taxi cab medallions, and some people would buy them so that they can start their own taxi cab business. Companies would own, several hundred of them or whatever. You talk about your yellow cabs or your checker cabs and stuff like that. So it was big business, and these medallions can cost a lot of money. So, to kind of, again, to continue and to put it into perspective, in 2012, probably the average taxi cab medallion is a couple $100,000 in the city of Chicago. Today, they're probably hovering around $50,000. In New York, like I said, in 2012, you can get a taxi cab medallion for $1 million. In 2018, that's down, or 2016 even, I think it was down to like 600,000. And then last year, I guess there was an auction for 6 of them. 3 of them sold for about 150,000 a piece, and the other 3 didn't even sell. So what happened? Why the plummet? Why the severe decrease in value? The answer is obvious. It's Uber and Lyft and ride-sharing companies that came in and thoroughly disrupted the taxi cab business, the taxi cab industry. And they used a platform that allowed private people to use their own cars for ride sharing, pick up, drop off, what have you, all online, all on the app, the internet, and your app through your phone. And you can, you didn't need to hail a cab anymore. And that affected a lot of people. You don't think about the people, you don't think about the little guys sometimes that bought that medallion as an investment for their family to start their business, and that would be something, an appreciating asset that they can pass down to their kids. Now all of a sudden they've got this thing that's arguably worth next to nothing, and is depreciating every single day more and more and more. So it's a little bit of a sad story, but it's not it's becoming a common story among many industries. And, real estate is an industry that's being disrupted, primarily because of technology, like everything. And the brokerage business in of itself is really being disrupted. And how the brokerage model works, how it relates to agents and broker owners, and value propositions between the two, and operating at a profit. And you see, us in the industry is seeing a lot of shift. There's a paradigm shift that the business is finally, I should say, starting to revolve around the agent and not around the brand, right? And because it's ultimately the consumer is hiring the agent who works for the brand or is aligned with the brand, but they're really hiring the agent. And, the idea out there that the consumer is very brand conscious and only wants to deal with a RE/MAX agent or a Keller Williams agent, or I never heard of Joe's Realty or anything like that. There is some truth to that. There is definitely some truth to that. But like the taxi cab medallion, that idea is diminishing every day and every month and every year, right? Because it is ultimately the agent that is building his own brand and should be entitled to build his own brand without pumping up or propping up the company that they're aligned with, right? For the purposes of branding, right? Obviously, there's some compliance issues that we all have to abide by. But, the short story is that Chris Matan is the brand. You're hiring Chris Matan. You're not hiring eXp Realty. eXp Realty is not the brand that's necessarily selling your house. Chris Matan and his team and his experience and his hard work is what is either selling your house or finding you the property that you want to buy, right? Completing the real estate transaction, however that may look like in your life. So, agents are now, looking at their own businesses in a different way and treating their businesses like a business more than anything. And, eXp is a platform not unlike Uber and Lyft that's starting to disrupt the real estate industry and the traditional brokerage model. I don't really want to get into the weeds in this particular episode about the specifics, but, I wanted to kind of, 2020 has been a really strange year. I don't think anybody would argue that point. It's been a weird year. It's been a bad year in a lot of ways. It's been a great year in a lot of ways. I can tell you, I'm looking at my board right now, and I can tell you that I feel more successful this year than I have in any other year. And I can't quite understand. I think I figured out why that is the case. And mind you, I'm running two businesses. I'm running my real estate business, and then I'm running my machine shop. And what I've done this year differently than I've done in any other year is look outside my 6 feet of social distancing, right? Because, you can't control what's going on 6 feet away from you. You can really only control what's going on right around you. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be looking outside of your little circle and your little box and your little business to see what other people are doing and what else is going on in the industry that you're involved in. And, it could be pretty, there's some things out there that might be pretty eye-opening. And I feel like if I did not open my eyes and kind of embrace other things and not only look to the past and look to see how things were being done and try to maintain and do what always has been done, I wouldn't be feeling what I'm feeling right now, and I sure as hell wouldn't be doing what I've been doing this year. So, you know, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that when somebody approaches you with something a little bit different, instead of resisting and, you know, having your guard up right away, I'm very happy with where I'm at. I'm very loyal to my broker manager. My company is very good. You know, they've been very good to me. I've been here 25 years. I'm very loyal, all that crap, right? It's great. It's all kind of words, but, you know, it doesn't do, you know, if there's something better out there and you're not willing to at the very least entertain it, then, you know, what you're doing is you're selling your family short. And you're selling yourself short, because to only look at what you've done in the past and continue to do that because it's worked for you and it's fine and you're content and you're comfortable, I suppose that's okay. But, you know, I think that I think that by doing that, by staying complacent and comfortable, you are you're not only limiting yourself to ideas that might be outside of your 6 feet or outside of your circle, but you're really not giving yourself and your family the best opportunity to grow and to achieve and succeed and earn, really. I mean, we're in business to make money when it comes down to it. I love my clients, but we're in business to make money. And make money and keep money, right? Run your business profitably. That's a key point too. And running the traditional, I'm going to pivot now from agent to broker and broker owner. You know, we could talk about franchisees and we could talk about independent broker owners of offices. To operate at a profit is becoming more and more difficult, for a variety of reasons. And I'm not going to go into the weeds on that. Those of you that are listening know what I'm talking about and understand those challenges. And, you know, some of you are doing things about it, you know, try to bring in other revenues, other streams of income, some types of ancillary services and stuff like that. But you all know, you know, what I'm talking about and how difficult it is and how expensive it is to run your business and to run your office and your brokerage. And just like it was becoming very expensive for these medallions who are depreciating in value. My belief, and I'm not a genius at all, but my belief and my gut tells me that the traditional real estate brokerage model with brick and mortar offices is decreasing in value, and the reason why it's decreasing in value is because it's harder and harder and harder to turn a profit and to make that profit enough, to make that margin enough to even be worth it, really. I mean, you look at if you run a brokerage, like what's the difference between running a brokerage with 20 agents or running a team with 20 agents or whatever your deal is, and you make all this money up here, but then you got to pay all these expenses, whatever these expenses are, doesn't really matter. And then you end up down here. If this number down here, when you're an independent broker or a team leader or any of this, if this number here is equal to what you can be doing as a solo agent over here, then that's a conversation that you should have in the mirror and say, is it worth the madness for all this to really just do this, or to do this over here, you know, because that's what it is. It's madness. But what keeps people doing it? It's ego. I think it's ego. I don't know, right? You built a brand. You're heavily invested in that brand. You're heavily invested in that office, in that space, in your people, right? You don't want to give up all that. Even if you're making down here, you don't want to give up all that. And, you know, it would be considered a failure, right, to give up all that. But what if there was a way where you didn't have to give up all that, but you could become more profitable, put yourself on a platform, retain your brand, retain your logo, retain your your presence in the community, but partner and align with a company that puts you on a platform to become more profitable, right? To offer your agents more than you can offer as an independent, right? Wouldn't you want to consider that? Wouldn't you want to wouldn't you want to hear about how that's even possible, right? Go outside your 6 feet of social distancing. It may, you may have a look and be like, no, I have no interest in that. I'm very happy where I'm at and everything's cool, which is great, which is absolutely great. You know, myself personally, I found something that I didn't know I was looking for, right? I found something that I didn't know that I was looking for. I found something that I didn't know that I was looking for in my real estate business. I found something that I was looking for that I didn't know I was looking for in my machine shop too. And I did that by going outside of my circle and outside of my box. And nobody's got a crystal ball, but if you had the opportunity and I guess the opportunity is the word. If you had the opportunity to not be somebody holding a taxi cab medallion and kind of didn't, I'm kind of losing my train of thought here, but you know, you don't want to be the guy with the taxi cab medallion in the real estate industry is basically what I'm saying. And there is a solution, just like the platform for Uber. There is a solution out there that you will be able to put yourself on a positive trajectory in a number of ways, actually. Financially, I believe spiritually, I believe emotionally, stress, you know, I believe that your stress levels are going to go down. It's really remarkable what a lot of these people are experiencing, and I'm one of them. You know, 35,000 people now. I think we almost doubled since last September. So, you know, there's you know, the word is out. The word is out, and it's an unbelievable time to kind of look deep down, not only deep down in yourself, but to look outside of your circle and to figure out how you can apply what's going on out there to your own business, and to really trickle down that reward to the people that you've been taking care of for a long time. You know, you love your agents, you love your people, and you love your brand, right? So to have a vehicle to, you know, to ride along with all of that, and to, you know, to continue to grow when you feel like maybe you've been stagnant and just kind of comfortable, but to grow at an easier pace. It's kind of an interesting, it's a little bit of an interesting thought. I'm at 18 minutes right now, and a lot of you have probably already left the show. I appreciate all of you that are still here. And but it's a topic, like I said, when this thought came across my mind in this story about these taxi cab medallions, I really saw a correlation between that and the real estate industry, and I wanted to you know, bring it on the show. And listen, I've been able to connect and reconnect with a lot of people over the last year in the industry, and I've been very grateful to do so. And I want to continue to do so. And I'd love to hook up with all of you from time to time for a drink or a beer or a coffee, dinner, you know, whatever have you, and just kind of like talk a little shop and see what you're doing, how you're doing, and you know, what's important to you. And I'll tell you what's important to me. And you know, if there's a way that we can align and you know, do some business together, I think that would be awesome. You know, there's a new, I think that there's a new sheriff in town. Yep. And it's definitely worth a look. It's, you know, I really feel selfishly and personally on the verge of something special. And, you know, I'd love to share it with anybody who's willing to listen. And that's about it, man. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I know I went a little bit long today. I'm hitting 20 minutes now. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.